Why don't you just take half of this, and I'll take half of that.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
So, man, you've been working on a book, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell me what it's about, or is it a secret until I read it, or
no, it's about, I read a book called The Proud Tower by Barbara Tuchman, which is about the 25 years before the First World War. And I just got into that period. I really liked learning about it. Then the idea came into my mind for a song, and it was too big a song. I was starting to work on my record on So Runs the World Away, and I had a lot of long story songs in there, and I thought, well, I could do this song too. And I worked on it, and it just wasn't, it was
too much for a song.
Yeah, it was too much. You know, I'd get annoyed with it, you know, halfway through, or I'd get bored with it. I started writing, so I wrote 1,000 words a day for 50 days. And the amazing thing about writing, giving yourself a final word limit and a word limit within a day, is that it makes you write the craziest stuff, you know?
Right, you have to do it. Yeah. You're forcing yourself to just let out whatever consciousness is there.
And all the great things in the character, really, I was so surprised. I always thought that was the silliest thing when people would talk about their characters doing strange things. Yeah. I thought, well, that's just like kind of potpourri artist talking. But it's true. And then at the end of 50,000 words, the book is done, you know, and it sucked. And then over the last 6 or 7 months, I've been rewriting and working.
Do you start from the beginning, go all the way to the end, and then start from the beginning, go all the way to the end again?
Sometimes,
or,
yeah. Although there's like characters and there's scenes that come back and the scenes that really resonate with you. You know, they're like beads on a string. You just kind of like string them together slowly, and then some beads you like and you move them around. And it just takes a long time. I made a goal that the two things I really wanted to do besides playing music was, well, there was 3, actually. I wanted to walk across the country. One day I'll do
Walk across the United States?
Yeah.
Walk all the way?
I wanted to do it. I don't know why.
Jesus,
but
dude.
then
How long would that take?
I don't know. I think it would take a while, but I can't get it out of my mind that I want to do it.
Wow, that's hardcore.
And not play music or anything, just walk.
Well, what would you play music on? You'd have to carry it with you.
Yeah,
maybe a kazoo or something.
Yeah, something light. And I don't want to inflict the harmonica on anyone. So, but I was thinking like that I wanted to run a marathon and I wanted to write a novel, and I just thought they were just sounded like big projects, you know.
You did the marathon though, I remember.
Yeah, I did the marathon fast, but all the things that I feel like you end up doing that are worth doing in life seem to take more than an afternoon, you know what I mean?
That's true. Like, even writing a good song.
Yeah, especially with music where we work in 3 or 4 minute increments when we're performing, you know, or you know, what we have to show is like at most like an hour at a time, you know? It's nice to work on something that feels like it takes a really long time and that you can't see the end of.
It gives you a world to live inside your mind as well. It gives you a place to go. The sooner you finish it, sometimes the worse it is, because then it's gone and it's for everybody else and it's not for you anymore. You know?
An alternate reality that you live in. You ever get writer's block?
All the time. I mean, I get less worried about it now because I have so many songs that it doesn't matter as much. I don't feel like, oh, I need to write a song to show that I can still write a song. I feel like I need to do it because it just feels so good to do it.
I used to feel like I didn't believe in writer's block. I believe that when you have something to say, you say it. Or you figure out how to say it. And if you have an interest, you follow it, you know? Because who knows where it's going to take you.
Don't ever question it at the outset.
Yeah.
Question it at the end. If you really hate it at the end, question it, but always follow the thread as far as it'll go.
Yeah.
It's too easy to go, you know, I mean, I fall prey to that a lot. I'm a very questioning kind of guy.
I don't think that's bad, though.
Your stuff is so imaginative, though. Like, you wrote that song about the mummy, you know, and I feel like my shit is so autobiographical, and I like that kind of straight shooting.
Yeah.
When your heart is broken, you just say what's on your mind, and you don't really construct it into something or draw some sort of metaphor. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I feel unimaginative, you know.
Oh, man. I think simplicity for everybody is a different thing.
Right.
You know?
Still, the times that I try to get out of myself and try to not make it confessional, because all my tunes end up being very confessional.
I don't know. I never think about your songs as confessional. I mean,
wait till you hear the new record. But it's just something I know how to do, you know. And fuck it, man. I could have not known how to do anything, you know. At least I know how to do something.
Can I try one of those fried spits?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm doing what my mom did, and she would always like just eat off my brother and my plates. Just how we grew up to be ferocious hyenas. When you were growing up, was it always like dinner at 6? that sort of thing?
More or less, yeah. We ate as a family. That was really important to my family. There was no eating in front of the TV, none of it. My dad would eat shirtless because we had no air conditioning, and he'd be cooking. And he was a food purchaser at a 5-star hotel. That was his gig.
Wow.
So he'd bring things home. When I was 7 years old, he put tongue on my sandwich. And I loved it. And I came home and I told him, I said, what was the sandwich, you know? He told me it was tongue, and I was just mortified that I'd eaten a tongue. And then when I was a teenager, I rebelled, and I went with my friends to McDonald's all the time, and I wouldn't come home for dinner, and I'd come home late. I was just an asshole, basically.
You cooking topless is something I want to be there for. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, my God.
We had the same thing. It was always sit down at the dinner table. It was never, like, felt formal. You know, we never, you know, it was never like a... But it was definitely a ritual that we knew was important, my brother and I. Mm-hmm. And something I miss hugely about being when I'm on the road. Mm-hmm. I think more than anything is sitting down and having dinner.
Does your band get into it with you, or do they share this passion, or are they just like they want to eat pizza backstage?
We're all from very similar families.
Oh, okay.
You know? Like, it's funny. I think that's probably true. You know, and I think one of the reasons why we get along so well together and why we are a family unit, which is what we are.
Yeah, you guys are. It's true.
Yeah, we all come from families that cook. You know, and even when I'm away, I love. When I come back, I want to wash dishes. Mm-hmm. You know.
So how was everything, guys?
Awesome.
Little digestivo on the house.
Thank you very much.
By the way, Josh, this is Carlo.
Carlo, good to meet you.
Carlo's
amazing.
place. Carlo is also an opera singer.
You're an opera singer.
I'm an opera singer.
Wow, man. What's
Ma consolatevi, non siete voi, non fosse non sarete nella prima né l'ultima. Guardate, questo non picciol libro. È tutto il nome di pellisuelle. Ogni villa, ogni borgo di paese, testimoni sue donnesche imprese. There you go.
You silenced my friend.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Carlo, man.
Back with your wife.
Cheers,
I
Carlo.
will.
All right, man. Sounds
Thanks
great,
a lot, man. See you later.
Well, hey, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, really
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah, thanks a lot.